By the end of this video, you'll be able to use subagents in Claude Code to run work in parallel, speeding up your development workflow. This technique is crucial for efficient coding with Claude. You'll learn how to break down tasks into smaller, independent pieces that can be executed simultaneously, freeing up your time to focus on the bigger picture. Running work in parallel with subagents can significantly reduce the time it takes to complete complex tasks, making you a more productive developer. You'll be able to apply this technique to a wide range of tasks, from data processing to API calls and more. To get started, you'll need to have a basic understanding of Claude Code and its ecosystem, including the Claude API and Claude.md. Don't worry if you're new to subagents. We'll cover the basics and show you how to create and manage them in Claude Code. Your first step will be to set up a new Claude Code project and create a subagent, which we'll walk through step by step. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid foundation in using subagents to run work in parallel, and you can try creating a subagent in your own Claude Code project right now. By the end of this, you'll be able to set up your environment to use subagents in Claude Code. To run work in parallel using subagents, you need the latest version of Claude Code installed and an Anthropic account. First, open your terminal and check your Claude Code version with Claude version. If you're not on the latest version, update using pip install upgrade Claude. Next, ensure you have an Anthropic account set up. If you don't, head to the Anthropic website and sign up. It's free. Once you've confirmed your account, come back to your terminal and run Claude login to authenticate with your Anthropic credentials. This will prompt you to enter your email and password. After logging in, verify your account status with Claude Huami. If everything looks good, you're ready to move forward. Now, let's make sure your MCP server is set up correctly. You'll need this to actually run your subagents. We'll cover the MCP server config in the next step. For now, just confirm you have the MCP server installed by running MCP help. If you see the help menu, you're all set. By the end of this, you'll be able to create and manage subagents in your Claude Code project. To start, you'll need to use the Claude API to create a new subagent. You can do this by sending a post request to the Claude API with the subagent details. For example, you can use a tool like curl to send a request from the command line. The endpoint will be something like https://api.claude.ai/v1/subagents. And you'll need to pass in a JSON payload with the subagent name and other details. Let's create a new subagent called worker. You can use the following command: curl xpost h content type application/JSON. The name worker description subagent for parallel work https://api.claude.ai/v1/subagents. Make sure to replace the API endpoint with your actual Claude API endpoint. Once you've created the subagent, you can manage it within your Claude Code project. You need to set up hooks and skills for the subagent to execute in parallel. You can do this by creating a new file called subagents.json in your project directory and adding the subagent details to it. For example, you can add a hook to run a specific skill when the subagent is started. To try this out, create a new file called subagents.json and add the following JSON: subagents name, worker, hooks, event, start, skill, parallel work. This will set up a hook to run the parallel work skill when the worker subagent is started. Next, try running the command to create a new subagent and see how it's managed within your Claude Code project. By the end of this scene, you'll have set up a simple example where subagents are used to run tasks concurrently in Claude Code. First, let's open your Claude.md file. You're working on a project that involves fetching data from multiple APIs and processing it. To make the process faster, you want to use subagents to run these API calls in parallel. 1. Define your tasks. In your Claude.md, add a section for defining tasks. Each task will be a separate call to an API or any other function that can run concurrently. Markdown. Hashtag tasks. X. Fetch data from API 1. Fetch data from API 2. Fetch data from API 3. 2. Set up subagents. Now, let's create subagent configurations for each of these tasks. Python. def fetch underscore data underscore from underscore API underscore 1. Hashtag code to fetch data from API 1. Def fetch underscore data underscore from underscore API underscore 2. Hashtag code to fetch data from API 2. Def fetch underscore data underscore from underscore API underscore 3. Hashtag code to fetch data from API 3. 3. Run subagents concurrently. In your main script, use the run underscore subagents function to execute these tasks in parallel. Python. From Claude underscore code, import run underscore subagents. Subagents equals name API1 function fetch underscore data underscore from underscore API underscore name API2 function fetch underscore data underscore from underscore API name API3 function fetch underscore data underscore from underscore API underscore 3. Run underscore subagents. 4. Monitor and log. To ensure everything is running as expected, add some logging. Python. Import logging. Logging.basicconfig. Level equals logging.info. Def fetch underscore data underscore from underscore API underscore 1. Hashtag code to fetch data from API 1. Logging.info. API 1. Fetching data. Def fetch underscore data underscore from underscore API underscore 2. Hashtag code to fetch data from API 2. Logging.info. API 2. Fetching data. Def fetch underscore data underscore from underscore API underscore 3. Hashtag code to fetch data from API 3. Logging.info. API 3. Fetching data. 5. Test your setup. Run your script and check the logs to see that all subagents are working in parallel. Bash. Python main.py. Claude.md. Run underscore subagents. Subagent. By now, you've got a handful of work running in parallel with subagents in Claude Code. Great job. Now let's see what's happening under the hood and make sure it's all smooth sailing. First things first, let's check on our tasks. Open your terminal or the command line where you spun up those subagents and run. Claude agent status. This will give you a rundown of what each agent is doing right now. Look for messages like task running or finish task. If everything looks good, great. But if you see any errors, don't worry. We'll tackle those next. To really dive in, look inside the outputs of your subagents. Navigate to where you stored them. cd/path/ to / your / subagent outputs. Check out individual files to see what Claude Code is spitting out. You might find some useful insights or even errors that need fixing. Let's say you spot an error message like timeout waiting for response. This can happen if your tasks are taking longer than expected. To address this, consider increasing the timeout setting in your Claude Code.yml file. YAML. Subagents. Name, my subagent. Script, my-script.py. Timeout. 600 hashtag increase from default 60 seconds. Or if you see messages like task failed, it might be a problem with the task itself. Double-check your script or command to make sure everything is running as expected. Now, let's optimize our setup for better performance. First, ensure that each subagent has enough resources. You can adjust the number of tasks each agent handles by tweaking their config. YAML. Subagents. Name, my subagent. Script, my-script.py. Max underscore tasks. 10 hashtag increase from default 5. Also, think about balancing your load. If one task takes significantly longer than others, you might want to increase its timeout or adjust how tasks are distributed. For a truly seamless experience, set up some automation scripts that monitor the subagent's health and alert you if something goes wrong. You can use tools like cron or systemd for this. Unit. Description égale Claude Subagents service. After equals network.target. Service. Exec start equals /usr /bin /Claude agent start. Restart equals always. User equals Cody hashtag or your username. Install. Wanted by equals multi-user.target. Place this in /etc /systemd /system /codyagent.service and then sudo systemtl enable codyagent.service. Sudo systemtl start codyagent.service. Now that you've got a handle on reviewing, troubleshooting, and optimizing your parallel workflow, go ahead and make it even better. Experiment with different configurations, tweak timeouts, and optimize scripts to get the best performance. Now that you've got the hang of running tasks in parallel with subagents, let's take things to the next level by integrating them into your existing workflow. The goal is simple. Pick an existing function from your project and convert it to use a subagent. 1. Choose your function, open up your favorite code editor, and navigate to one of your functions that could benefit from parallel processing. Maybe it's calculating Fibonacci numbers, fetching data from multiple APIs, or any task you've been running sequentially but can be split into smaller chunks. 2. Wrap the function in a subagent. First, make sure you have the subagents package imported at the top of your script. Python. From Claude_Code, import subagents. Next, wrap your function with a call to subagents.run. For example, if you had a function called fetch_data, it would look something like this. Python, def fetch_data, URL. Hashtag your existing code here. Results equal subagents.run, fetch_data, https://ap@example.com/data1. https://ap@example.com/data2. 3. Run and observe. Save your changes and run your script to see the difference. If everything is set up correctly, you should notice a significant speed improvement. 4. Verify the results. Make sure that all the data or results are being processed as expected. Compare the output of your modified function with the original sequential version to ensure nothing has been broken in the process. 5. Refine and iterate. If everything looks good, take a moment to refine your subagent code for better performance. You might experiment with different ways to split the workload or optimize the functions inside the subagents. Start small. Pick simple tasks first so you can easily verify that subagents are working as expected. Monitor performance. Use profiling tools to understand where bottlenecks lie and how to distribute tasks more effectively. By following these steps, you'll have seamlessly integrated parallel processing into your project, making it more efficient and faster. This is a powerful technique for handling complex or I/O bound workloads in Claude Code.